everyone. Welcome to the Healing Train. I am your coach, your conductor, B.Von Squires, and today we are sponsored by Spirit Source Connection, where we believe that we're multi-dimensional spiritual beings and that we must address all components of who we are in order to arrive at homeostasis, in order to feel our most authentic selves. So, here on the Healing Train, we have passengers that come each week to bring you their stories, the ups and downs and twists and turns along the way. And so, this ordinary person has an extraordinary story that she's going to share with us today. And so, with no further ado, I would like to welcome Miss Faith Harvey to the show. Miss Faith Harvey, can you please say hello to our community?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Faith Harvey. It's a pleasure being on this show, and I hope my story can help someone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, Faith is going to come to us today. She's going to bring authenticity, she's going to bring transparency, and she's going to tell you all about what it was like to experience her particular brand of trauma, how she was able to identify it. And which brings me to the fact, guess what, you guys? If you don't know, I wrote a book and it's called The Energy Harvest, a spiritual model for the enhancement of your life. And it has four phases. The first phase is identify. And so Faith is going to identify her trauma with us today. Then the second phase is the set phase, where we talk about the mindset that has to change in order to facilitate the healing that you need. So she's going to talk to us about that as well. Then we're going to move into all of the wonderful things that she's been able to achieve since she made that change in her mindset and was able to move forward with her trauma healing. And lastly, she's going to give us some words of wisdom on how she's able to sustain that beautiful smile she has, how she's able to sustain the positive energy that she uses to make it through each day, the ups and downs and twists and turns of it all. And so, with no further ado, we're going to jump right on in. So, Faith, thank you so much again for being here. And we know that trauma looks different for every person. And so today we just want you to tell us how you were able to identify the trauma in your life and what that was like.
So, my story is a little unique. I'm gonna talk about the trauma that I experienced, which was recovering from being sick and having to deal with the depression, anxiety. So, I'm gonna share my story because I don't hear a lot of these stories, but yet I feel like it's very important, especially in today's world. So, one day, this was over 10 years ago, when I was 23 years old, I was having a very hard day at work. And when I left work, I got in my car, I put some music on, and it was like an instant relief. It's so funny. I actually even remember the song that was actually playing. So while I'm driving on the way home, blasting my music, out of nowhere, I start having this double vision. And then a few seconds after that, my neck just grew stiff. And then moments after, boom, a thunderclap had it. So I was driving, like going on the ramp, about to enter the highway. And all I was saying is, God, please allow me to at least be able to pull off safely so I don't harm anyone else as well in the process. And I was able to manage to pull over, and then I completely blacked out. So there, like when I was blacked out, I heard a voice, like that said, get up. I got up, and then I immediately called the ambulance. And thank God I was able to make it to the hospital. But yet did I know this was only just the beginning of the trial that I would have to face with the sickness. So after that, it was an ongoing journey to identify what was going on, because what a lot of people don't know, sometimes being sick, you go to the emergency room and you get that instant help. that instant relief. And thank God if that happens for you. But for certain individuals, it's a lot different. The doctors didn't have answers at first. The
Mm.
nurses didn't have answers. No one knew what was happening. They knew that my protein was very low. They knew I passed out, but they didn't know specifically what was the diagnosis. It took years, not months, years of advocating for myself, all while I'm still experiencing symptoms related, to find out that I had what we call as the term supraventricular tachycardia. So it,
Ventricular tachycardia.
yes,
Okay. That's a big word.
yes, yes. So that, that the years of advocating for myself, going to neurologists,
Oh,
going to cardiologists, going from, at the time I was residing in Virginia. Virginia's great place, but it took me to travel to another state to get my diagnosis, and that was New York.
okay.
I had to come to visit doctors in New York, and my neurologist, which is very interesting, was the one that said, you know what, I'm going to give you a test and I'm going to test your heart. And when she gave me that sleep study, she was the first one that noticed that something in my heart wasn't right. And she told me, I'm not a cardiologist, so I can't, put a diagnosis on it, but I'm going to refer you to this cardiologist that will help you.
Oh,
And thank God
I can only
it
imagine.
worked.
I can only imagine the mental anguish that you went through all those years, knowing something's not right, but not having any definitive diagnosis. Wow, Faith, I can only imagine the mental anguish that you had to be experiencing, knowing that something was wrong with you and not having a definitive diagnosis. Oh my goodness, I'm kind of currently going through something like that now myself. So thank you, because what you're telling me is that no matter how long it takes, don't give up. Self advocate. That's the thing that we have to learn how to do. People might call you hostile. They may have all kinds of labels to put on you, but you belong to you. So you need to advocate for yourself. So thank you for letting us know how important that is. And so I know I can only imagine what that was like, driving and then having something happen and then you black out, then hearing that voice say, get up. Do you think that was God? Do you think that was your higher source telling you get up out of the bed and or not out of the bed, get up out of the floor or the car and get yourself together? Had you ever heard that voice before?
No, I haven't. And yes, definitely believe it was God. If it wasn't for that voice that told me to get up, I might not be here and able to interview with you now. And yes, self-advocacy is very important. Let me tell you. Yes, the professionals can tell you, no, go home. It's nothing wrong. But you know your body. And if you don't know your body, please learn it. It talks to you. When you know something's not right, you don't give up. I kept going. Let me tell you, I had to take off work. I ran out of money.
Oh,
I ran
another
out of
trauma.
money. I didn't have any answers. I went through a complete depression
Mm.
because I was home. I wasn't feeling well.
Faith, you are so right. Knowing our bodies is so important. And so, guys, you heard what she said. If you don't know your body, get to know your body so that when something's going on, nobody has to tell you that something's wrong with your body. And like she said, it speaks to you. Learn what your body is asking for. If it needs water, if it needs sleep, those kinds of things. Make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on with your body and always self advocate. Okay, Faith. So now that we've learned how you were able to identify your issues, even though it took years, oh my goodness, that was such a powerful message that you gave us there. Don't give up no matter what. And so, what was the mindset that you had to adopt going through anxiety, going through depression, being in your home, not able to go out and interact? How were you able to get your mind right for the healing process? What happened that gave you the right mind to move forward?
So I'm gonna be very transparent and honest. It was hard at first. Like it was extremely difficult. I reached to the point of depression where I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it another day.
Mm,
It was very traumatic being in that state of mind. But while I was there, I was praying to God and I was like, God, like, if I'm gonna live like this, feeling sick, worrying each day, am I gonna survive? I don't wanna live like this.
hmm
I was honest. And then God answered back. And you know what he said? Two
What?
simple words: trust me.
Oh, girl, I knew that's what you was going to say. I heard it in my spirit. Trust me.
Trust me. And in that moment,
Mm,
I trust him. I let go.
mm.
I let God. I, I stopped worrying. I stopped feeling anxious. I stopped being fearful. I got in my word and I stayed on my knees in prayer. And that allowed my mind to heal.
Wait, you just said a mouthful right there. We already know that the creator, the one who created us, the one that gave us life, knows how to comfort us, knows how to speak to us, knows how to give us that sense of comfort in the time of need. And so I am going to encourage anyone who does not have a higher power, source, God, whatever you want to call your higher power, whatever you want to call it. But Faith here is telling us that's how she was able to make it through with a new mindset. She read her word, which is the Bible. She read those words and she stayed on her knees praying. So through prayer and meditation, she was able to get a new thought process. She was able to get a new mindset that equipped her to be able to handle what she was going through. She said she didn't have any more anxiety, no more depression. And I'm telling you, God can do it if you let Him. That's the thing. She let go and let God. Wow, what a beautiful message that is. Woo! And so, even though you were in your word and you were praying, I'm sure that every now and then the doubt came up, and then you just probably what? Quoted a scripture to it and it went away. You spoke to it and it left. Or what was that like?
So of course, I was always, continuing to be prayerful and speaking against it. But other things that I did as well, and this may work for you, but it worked for me. Reading. I read a lot of books about healing.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. Actually, I can share one of the books that I read. I won't state the name, but it's from Joel Osteen, and it spoke about healing. I think that's very important sometimes when you are going through these things, things and experiencing trauma, just reading and learning more about it and learning how to overcome it and learning how to, you know, not allow your trauma to take over your life. So that was a big part of it, as well as changing my lifestyle.
Ooh,
And that means having a healthy lifestyle as well. not
Mm-hmm.
not stressing. So just not about the trauma. I'm letting go and letting God over the stress, over the worries, and even the day-to-day things, as well as what I'm putting inside of my body. I'm
Yes.
eating healthy. I'm drinking healthy. So it was the healing journey is being healed from the inside and the out.
Yes. Oh, that's so powerful. Did you guys hear what she just said? It's not about just healing one component, but all components of who you are. And we talk about that here, especially with Spirit Source. We talk about the components, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physical all have to be in alignment in order for you to heal and move forward. And that's what she was saying. Not only was she renewing her mind, she was also renewing her body through the way that she ate and drank and even her everyday interactions with life itself. So, wow, that's such a powerful message. Wow, that is so powerful. And so, once you were able to create a new lifestyle, basically, because that's what you did, you went from changing your thought processes to changing your entire life to align with your goal of healing, and that's what it is. We have to align with the goal. Everything has to be moving in the same direction. And so once you were able to get everything moving in the same direction, um and capture that new mindset, I know you were then able to achieve some wonderful things, which is the next phase of the healing process, is achieving. So, what were you able to achieve once you changed your mindset and adapted a new living process? What were you able to achieve as a result?
I was able to achieve a full recovery. Just changing your mindset, living that healthy lifestyle, letting go of the anxiety, letting go the depression, allow me to have a full recovery. And I do want to mention too, because this is important too. Yes,
Okay.
I did go through treatments. I did a heart catheterization as well.
Okay.
But however, the most important thing is advocate for yourself, have a healthy lifestyle, and being able to let go and let God and let go of that anxiety and let go of that depression. Because I'm gonna be honest, even when they did offer these treatments and they offered that surgery, if I would have been in that same mindset of having the anxiety, having the depression, I wouldn't have done it.
Yes.
But when I heard that voice, trust me, I was like, I'm not gonna worry. I'm gonna make it out this surgery. I'm gonna make it out this treatment process.
Yes.
So being able to let go of those things, the trauma, the depression, anxiety, allowed me to have that full recovery because I was coming in with the right mindset and I was
Yes.
trusting the process.
Ooh-wee. You are doing an excellent job today, Faith Harvey. I want you to know that you are speaking to our community today with all of your beautiful words and your process. And we thank you so much for being here and being so transparent. What you've told us is this was not easy. No, this was a test. This was a trial. This was a journey for you. And what you're sharing with us is you were able to change from the anxiety and depression, all of those limiting ways of feeling and all of that limiting energy, and then you were able to move into a more abundant mindset because you were tapped into the most high and you were able to hear his voice, and you knew that if you trusted him, everything was going to be okay. And that is a beautiful message that you're sending out to the community today. And so and I wholeheartedly believe you, and I know that healing is possible because I was able to heal myself. And as I mentioned in the book, it talks about my own experience with hearing God's words and hearing his voice. And there's nothing more special than to know that God is speaking directly to you. not through a preacher, not through somebody else, but he spoke directly to you. Not to say that the reading that you did from Joel Osteen wasn't positive and helpful, because it was. We have to renew our minds, and not only with the word, but other things, like you said. Read books about healing, read books about a healthy lifestyle, so that you can gravitate towards those things and change your entire life. Oh my goodness. Okay, Faith, you're doing such a great job. So now we're going to move into that smile. Did you guys see that smile? I want to know, how do you maintain that smile? How do you maintain, your health? How do you maintain and sustain all of the positive energy and all of this new lifestyle and this new thought process? How do you keep it going on those tough days? Because we still have those tough days. So how do you keep yourself moving forward?
As I like to tell everyone, just don't give up and keep the faith. You gotta have faith. Even when it gets hard, even when it doesn't go your way, even when you face trial and tribulations, keep the faith. And that just keeps me going on when it get rough, and it keeps me smiling.
You know what? I mean, with a name like Faith, how could you not keep the faith, right? But that is so true. Don't give up. If you're manifesting for something in your life, whether it's healing, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your employment, whether it's, whatever it is, keep the faith. And when we talk about keeping the faith, we're talking about that positive attitude, that positive thought process, and those positive actions that all goes into keeping the faith. And so don't give up and keep the faith are the words that you will take away from this message today. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it. Just keep the faith and don't give up. Woo!
I
What a
have faith in
message.
you.
Faith has faith in you, and we are always here to help you, always here to hold your hand as you walk through this process. And so, Faith, if somebody wanted to contact you, are you available to speak to people about your situation and help along the way?
Absolutely. I'm helping people day to day. I haven't shared this, but I'm actually a social worker. So of course I'm dealing with individuals on a daily basis that deals with trauma. And that's how I know trauma looks different. It's so many different areas and aspects. So I'm always a listening ear, literally in my professional and my personal life.
Oh, wow. Well, I didn't know that you were a social worker. No, I didn't know that, but it makes sense. It makes sense, that you're out there helping, that God gave you a message, that He gave you something special, to help those people that you're dealing with. I believe that you were chosen for this path. I believe you were chosen for this journey so that you can give back to others who are going through this. I believe I was chosen too, and so the pain and frustration and all of the mental anguish that we went through along this journey was so that we could come back and say, guess what? There is life after trauma. There is life after the darkest day that you can ever go through. There will be life afterwards. And that is a message of hope. And so we're going to thank you so much again for being here. Thank you for allowing us, just a little glimpse in what your process was like. And just like I always say, we have had a wonderful episode this week. I know you guys got something out of it. And I'm so grateful that you continue to meet us here every Sunday for the Healing Train. And so we're going to be looking for you once again next week. But in the meantime, until I see you again, I'm going to be praying and asking God to bless you real good. And if you're manifesting for something, Faith already told you, don't give up. Just keep the faith. Just keep moving forward, because that thing that you're manifesting is on its way to you. All right, guys, we're going to say goodbye for now, but we'll see you again next week. Thank you again for being here, Faith.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye, guys. We'll see you next week. Love you.